Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here to excitedly announce to you the return of Teehee Tuesday, and its first show for a little while, Sono Bisque-doll wa Koi o Suru, which we will never call that again because we will forever refer to it as My Dress-Up Darling, a show that aired relatively recently, and I missed because for a little while on the channel we've been kind of on one roll, one road, one zone. We've been watching big, life-changing, world-altering styles of shows. Even when we tried to do some, fun shonen action, that ended up being, full of death and murder and horror and insanity. So it's been kind of a while of pretty heavy shit on the channel for a little while. And I can't complain about that. We've been eating good. We've been getting a lot of interesting stuff pumping through our brain cases. It's been really interesting. But there's only so much time and energy that can be totally dedicated to reconfiguring your understanding of reality on a fundamental level every day, all day, every week. Sometimes you gotta return to a different zone, a different genre. Something else that's been really important and powerful and impactful in a very different way on this channel and in my life and in the lives of many other people. The fact that anime is not just a medium for conveying important information. It's also fun. It's also like an enjoyable thing that we enjoy doing because it's fun and goofy and it's allowed to be. It's kind of a unique medium in that way. It's not required to be quite as adult, even when it's aimed at adults. It's not required to be quite as serious or as hardcore. Even when it's being serious. It's allowed to be goofy, and sweet, and chill, and fun, and funny. And that's a crucial element of this thing that we enjoy. And it's a crucial part of why I enjoy it, and has been from the beginning. This channel has been built in some ways off the backs of big shows. Big things that are popular on the mainstream, but also important and impactful. The Sangatsu no Lions and the Mushoku Tenseis and the things that really speak to people on a deep soul level. But it's also been built on Kyoani shows, Keion and Lucky Star, Chunibyo, Yuru Camp, Place Further Than the Universe, shows that mix their emotional landscape and have a little bit more color to them. A little bit more light. Your Dragon Maids and your goofy and cute and funny and fanservice-y, the things that remind us that this life that we live isn't all about fighting and dying and winning. It's also about, friends and sex and cute things and passions and hobbies and desires and goals and meeting people and society and culture. It's about Isekai Oji-san being all goofy and showing us a weird twist on the isekai stories that we know so well. Or PiP Kome bringing, ancient Chinese wizard-level fucking strategy stuff to being a cool idol. It's that cool, fun stuff that allows us to see into different worlds and experience different hobbies and enjoy things. Like Yuru Camp takes us camping along with this squad of cute, fun, goofy people and lets us kind of step outside of our roles as salarymen and work-a-day adult humans and be kids going camping for a little bit. Or kids going on a crazy journey to the ends of the earth. Or just kids playing music. Those kinds of shows, in many ways more than the deep and potent and powerful ones that often end up being our top-rated, most exciting shows that whomp us every season. Those cute things are crucial. They're the part that you turn to when you've had a hard day at work and you need something to just watch and soak into and relax. They're the part that allows us to escape, not into another difficult, struggling fantasy, but into a place where there isn't as much struggle. into the lives of characters who maybe aren't as socially awkward as we are, or maybe are more so that we can see ourselves in a better way. Into the lives of people who've got passion and care and friends, things that sometimes are hard for us to reach out for in our real lives. Sometimes we can sit back and experience through animation, through fiction, things that maybe we don't feel able to get for ourselves in reality. And in doing so, sometimes we can experience them and recognize things about ourselves that we want to change, that we want to be more like. It's not uncommon for me to see comments from people on those cutesy shows saying like, man, why is it that this show is the one that inspired me to pick up an instrument and like pursue what has become my passion over the course of my life? Why is it the simple things that make me feel real and human and connected? I don't know that I have answers to that completely, but those are the kinds of questions that keep me coming back to these shows. Because when I watch them on so many levels. I watch them on that pure level of just diving in and enjoying, floating and escaping. But then, why does that do so much for me, and for so many of us? What is it about the nature of those pieces of media that allows that gentle relaxation for us? And what a service is being done by the people who are creating those pieces of media. It's like a publicly accessible spa day. You know? Sometimes I feel like that about a show. It's like, wow. A huge group of people put a lot of effort into making a thing that would make other people feel good. That's really cool of them. And then the thing that they made is built in such a way that it might inspire other people to do the same kind of thing, to seek out their own passions and hobbies in order to help those around them feel good. Maybe there's something really potent going on here. Maybe it's more than just escapism. Maybe it's more than just silly cartoons and kid stuff. Maybe we're engaging in a kind of storytelling, a kind of information sharing between people that allows us to be what we want to be, human and connected and whole and full, to explore worlds beyond our own and see through the eyes of people who are not like us. Maybe there's something cool going on here. I think there is. Now, we're going to watch Bisque Doll. It's about dressing up, and I think dolls. I've got some thoughts based on the opening, the cover art. Because there are 2 promo arts that are on my anime list, and I'll edit them in here. The first one is like this. And so here's Boy. Boy is carrying some clothing. There are some background character girls who I think are different people. I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're her in other stuff. She's super cute. I don't love hair gradients usually, but I love hers. I love her eye color. I love her overall style and stuff. The read that I get from her is Gyaru light. Like Gyaru-esque, but way more approachable than traditional Gyaru archetypes, which have way far more like makeup and far more like stuff done here. Very approachable Gyaru light here. In terms of like patterning, I can zoom out from this and blur my eyes and see Asuna from Sword Art Online, because this character fits enough of the like main girl archetype to be main girl-esque, right? Like she's well endowed and well figured, but not like over the top in any way. She fits a middle range for all of that. Cute and goofy and laughing and fun means, in combination with our pretty bland blushy boy, that she's the leader in terms of where this is going. For sure. And that he's probably a socially awkward insert character archetype for us. We'll see what he has going on that makes him a unique person, and if there's something actually there. I assume that there will be, based on the premise that they're going to get together and something about him is going to stand out. But often in shows like this, that character is meant to be a bog standard insert character for us to feel like we're him. And, like, even a weirdo like me could find a wonderful lady like that and get yanked around and pulled into a wondrous world of awesomeness. Another fun parallel to make here would be to Bocchi the Rock in a weird way. This female character is kind of like Nijika, an extroverted, gung-ho character who's willing to grab our main character and pull them off into wondrous realities. In the Nijika Bocchi's universe, that's not a romantic thing, but here it almost certainly will be. There's something still very compelling about that as a wish fulfillment. Like, here I am, a nerdy, isolated person with my own silly hobbies and stuff. I'm never going to get a crazy hottie Bijin Gyaru. Oh shit, a crazy hottie extroverted Bijin Gyaru who's going to pull me off and give me friends and a life and cool hobbies and things to interact with and a reason for living. Sick nasty. No idea about the girls in the background. Oh, the stuff in the background is patterns for clothing. Cosplay, that's what we're doing. It's dress up, darling. That's why he's got this, like, maid outfit, and why her whole thing being stylish is stylish. Okay. I love her little choker collar. For reasons. I love her little choker collar for reasons. I love her whole outfit and vibe and thing. It's something that I tried to express, that's hard for me to get across as a point. My favorite archetypes of femme characters are monsters. I love Gyaru. I love Yankee, like, crazy biker girls. I love yanderes. And it translates to real life too, like gothy, fucked up, tatted out, pierced, leather chains, the whole works. I love very much. I have for a couple of months been dating someone who fits that archetype in their own particular way, who is more experienced in a whole lot of ways than I am, and very expressive in terms of clothing and figuring out how they want to be seen and heard and express themselves, which is very much not me, and that's why it feels like such an odd pairing, and why people are often very surprised when I tell them that that's, like, my type, because that is, like, my type. And it's come to, like, some interesting self-evaluation on that, because I don't see myself as, like, this character, as, like, bland and blank, but I do wear that, and I wear it intentionally. Like, I have a complete lack of graphic shirts of any kind, or patterned shirts of almost any kind. I don't wear clothes that stand out. I don't wear any jewelry or accessories except ones that have particular utility. I don't really style my hair. I don't really style much of me. I'm just blank, and I try to be blank. Maybe that's weird and fucked up. Fine. Very, very fine. But it's a kind of control. Some people control other people's perceptions of them by, like, peacocking, by putting on a particular piece of something that gives a particular vibe and they know is going to have a particular impact. For example, a girl who wants to be seen a particular way might dress as Gyaru and rest assured knowing that everyone who sees them will perceive them as Gyaru and not really try to see the person underneath very much. That can be armor in a real and coherent way. I don't want that. I want to do the opposite. I don't want people to have any ability to get a read on me. I want to be a complete blank slate, because I want to be taken at the value that I present, like, actually, in terms of, like, I want to force someone to engage with the person underneath and not enable them to make a bunch of assumptions about who I am. So in a way, the way that I dress is post-punk, which is super silly, but vibe, because to be punky and very expressive is, like, what you're gonna hear about me and what you're gonna know about me is that I'm spiky and chains and, like, off-putting and stay away, and I'll force that impression on you. And a step after that, or a rejection of that, a postmodernist perspective on that, would be to be like, you get nothing from me. You're going to have to actually engage. Okay, the reason that I bring up my partner and myself is because we have ourselves a dynamic that might have some strange echoes to this show. I don't know. I'm a pretty bland presenting human being who I think has some very weird, interesting interests under the surface. I mean, I make anime YouTube videos for a living and ride an electric unicycle. I'm a little bit weird. And they are highly attractive, very sought after, very femme, and present in very particular femme ways that fit that kind of spiky, sometimes off-putting, gothy, sort of gyaru-y kind of thing. Also, they like to shape change and dress differently. And I like that too. I'm really curious to see if I learn anything about myself or about my relationship as we watch this show. Because I think we might. No, we might not. It might just be fun and silly and a good time and the kind of joy of vicariously living through somebody else's romance because it's fun and silly and a good time and a joy. Or it could be pivotally important and super useful. I don't freaking know. I do not know. There is this other image. Is this her? I'm going to guess that this is her again, because we got all the makeup, we've got the designs for the stuff, and then probably color contacts and like all the, and wigs and things. So it's her again, just dressing in different forms and trying on different presentations of self. There's going to be a lot of room for savisu there and sexiness. And we'll have to see how we feel about that. I have particular interpretations of service, of fan service and how it's presented, but no problems with sexuality being presented on screen. I am always very curious about how it's presented, why it's presented, and for whose titillation and motivation it's presented. It's fine if it's for mine, but it does change the nature of the piece of media. And I'm also always really interested, I'm going to point this out before we get into it super preemptively, I'm always really interested in control of camera. This is something that that Berger talks about all the time. I'm looking for the book and I'm not seeing it. I see it's up on a shelf. Understanding a Photograph by John Berger is over there. And has to do with control. Who framed that photo in the way that they framed it, and to what end? And I think that's going to be something really important here as we're entering a show that seems to be about how you present yourself and how that is seen and interpreted. How will the subconscious element of our camera interact with that? The pivotal thing, or the obvious bright line, is this. And I'll just present this early. Does the camera maneuver itself into a position where it's objectifying the characters? Or is the camera moved by the characters into a position that objectifies themselves? There's a huge difference between a voyeuristic camera looking for sexy body parts and angles and a self-representing camera where a person is posing for the frame. They're very different. Very, very different. And then there becomes a question of if the character is posing for the frame, is the camera being operated in a way that's in coherence with what the character wants they're posing to be? For example, if a character poses in a super strong active pose and the camera frames their ass and titties, that's at odds, right? But if the character goes like this and the camera follows and frames things in a sexy way, that's in alignment, right? So who's in control of the camera? Is it us? Is it a character in scene who's presenting themselves? Is it a character in scene watching them? Is it a third-party omniscient director who just wants to show you all the ass that he can? It's a curious question. It's important to know. And it changes the way that the thing feels sincerely and significantly and big time. I'm going to be very curious to see. Now, the final thing that I must do, I didn't think I was going to do here at the beginning of this show, but I think I am, is I am going to do a drawing. And the drawing is going to have nothing to do with this show except in the weirdest tangential way. I was talking to my partner earlier today. I told them that I was going to go record this. And they said, at some point, it doesn't have to be for this show, obviously, and I don't think that you're going to do it on camera, but at some point, I want you to do a drawing for me because I really want a drawing of it. I would really like a drawing of a lizard wizard. And I don't think that this was their intent, but now I am unable to think of literally anything except a lizard wizard, and so I'm going to draw it. The reason that I'm going to do this here and in this video is because something about that makes me feel like I'm wrapped around my partner's little finger, and and that's pretty fucking silly. It's pretty fucking silly, but I just want to make them happy, and so I'm gonna draw a damn lizard wizard, and and it has nothing to do with the show, and I'm gonna cut it up real good, and you're not gonna have to waste much time with it, and then we'll get into the show. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Goddamn lizards are fucking weird. Love them. Don't fuck with the lizard wizard. He'll zap ya. Definitely has a double staff. It's like Fern's staff, but it's also like Freeren's staff. That is a lizard wizard, motherfucker. Mission accomplished. And now I'm going to send a picture for proof. That's a lizard, and that's a wizard. Alright, and with that silly expression of love completed, let's watch ourselves My Dress Up Darling. For those of you who are new on the channel, there will be 2 versions of this and every other reaction video. There will be a picture-in-picture version with the video in it. That'll be linked in the description in 3 different forms. You can go and find that. There will also be the timer-based version, which you're currently watching, which is up on YouTube. It'll have all the discussion at the beginning and at the end, but the video won't be in it so that I can put it up on YouTube, and you can sync up your own copy with the timer. That way you can also change, like, volume and stuff and make your own viewing experience. That's usually pretty ideal for people who have multiple screens or a desktop or something like that, whereas the picture-in-picture versions, like jumping from the YouTube version to there and watching that on its own, is usually better for people with one screen, like a tablet or a phone or something like that. Just trying to make it as easy as possible for everybody. Also, for those who haven't been here, you might notice that there aren't ads on this video. That's because there aren't ads on this video. There never are. All of this content is free. I make it and put it out on YouTube for free. I put it up 1 week early on Patreon, and for the low price of $1, you can head over there and get it a week early on the Patreon. That dollar also gets you access to the Discord and the ability to vote in polls, like the one that we did for this one, to determine what shows we watch next. There will be a bunch of those coming up pretty shortly, because Mushoku Tensei just ended, ReZero just ended, or is about to end, Jujutsu Kaisen is about to end, Freeren just ended, and it's just gonna be a lot of polls, okay? So check that out. It's, like, way worth the $1, I think, and the way that I like to do things is I like for you to not pay for much, and then, like, for there to be a lot of you. And then if there are a lot of you and you're not paying for much, then I can just create stuff for free, and, like, you feel like you get a lot for your money, and I get a lot of support from, like, a lot of people, and it ends up working really well. And it's been such a great decision that I made a little while ago to go from, like, a more expensive tier to a cheaper tier to make it more accessible for people to, like, engage with the content and be a part of the community and join me and the weird Discord and all us weird weebs as we watch weird anime together and enjoy ourselves. It's fucking cool. Thank you for your continued support and for even considering it. If you can't support on the Patreon, liking and subscribing and YouTubing is also super great, and I'd love to hear your comments about this show and all the things that I talk about. Maybe we'll end up talking back and forth about some of the comments as we go in a comment spotlight section in the future, but for now, likes and comments and subscribes are all dope. If you want to get the episodes a bit early, those will be available on the Patreon, and thank you so much for joining me for Bisque Doll, My Dress Up Darling, whatever we're going to call it moving forward. I'm hoping that it'll be a good, fun, cute, sexy, enjoyable, romantic, fun, excellent, yummy time. And let's get into it and see how it goes. I've got episode 1 up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions, as previously mentioned. Picture-in-picture available in the description, timer up on YouTube, and a beep-beep timer to count you down. Early access will be available on the Patreon. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's watch episode 1 of My Dress Up Darling and see if we like it. Beep beep timer. Okie. Ah, this is our boy. He has mole. So it's a family business. I'm gonna bring out notes. Yeah, he's fallen for it. Wow. Oh, it hits that Tamako Market tradition family vibe. Not quite. What? Oh, shit, you don't get it at all. Oh, enjoy your trauma, bro. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, I guess women will never like me. I'm a weirdo. It appears that I am a stranger, a weirdo who will never have romance. That is what I've learned. I will be hated forever. Of course, his actual hobby is super cool and interesting. It's weird, but dope as fuck. Oh! Oh, wow, he says Ohio to the doll. Damn, that's... Damn. Ohio. He is a little weird. That's cute. Okay, vibe. We are getting an OP. Love. Oh, we're doing the split. Okay. Separate, split. And she's actually a weeb. Uh-huh. I love this. This is exactly the vibe. Y'all nailed it. I asked for cute and light stuff, and y'all nailed it. Let's go. Let's fucking go. So she's willing to be the doll for him, and that ends up becoming all sorts of Savisu for us. So we have this hyper-attractive character to dress up. Ah, it does remind me of my relationship so much. So much of what I love doing is going to thrift stores and buying clothes for cute clothes for my partner. Oh no. Oh no, it's real. Oh, it's too real. Oh god. Oh jeez. Oh no, it's too weird. I love it. This is gonna be overwhelmingly cute, and I'm... Another world, huh? Gojo dolls. So he is keeping the store going. But probably barely. Like, that can't be a profitable business. Hey, he's still alive! Let's go! Doing your workout? I don't know. So far, the pace and flow feels really good. Often manga adaptations have a particular vibe that's very stilted, and this doesn't feel stilted to me. It feels smooth. Wow. I love how you responded in English. Oh, almost like what you need is a doll with a perfect face. So that you can put sexy outfits on them. Cute. How old is he, I wonder? Oh, he's in high school. Okay, thank you. He looks like he's 25, 30, 40, 55. Because he believes he's gonna be fucking alone forever. Ow. Oh yeah? How many of them can you name? Yeah. He just believes him. Ha ha ha. Vibes. Shit, maybe I should get some friends. Is that the school uniform with the, like, plaid pants? Nope, because other people aren't wearing them. Oh, it is the same as the skirts, though, so maybe it is. Different world, man. Ow. Classic best friend archetype. What type are you? Oh shit, he thought he was somebody else. No! I thought we had a friend! Oh, that's so brutal, because that's the classic. Even though the protagonist is a loner, he still has one idiot friend who's worse than him. Brutal. Yeah. I'm a weirdo. Nobody likes me. Honestly, true, dude. You need something else. One other thing. Mitsa moshirokata! All these people with interests. Fucking totally different from me. Just loving things is dope, dude. Just loving things is dope. Yeah. Internalized self-hatred. Fucking rough, bro. Don't say dead. Wow, we're really there. We're really that far. Oh, we're gonna Gottery it? No way. No reaction. Don't react, bro. Cute. Maureen. Used to getting concussed. She knows his name? Ink makeup. Oh, so much touching. So close. But huh. Yeah, just like enamored. But it's her face that enamors him. Yeah, she touched you, just crossed all those thresholds like an ayah. Vibes. So there's our answer. Double answer. Who's in frame? Who's holding the frame? It's him. For now. She's not in control yet. No, she doesn't. Salon model? Of course. She's hot. Nanto katta anime. Bruh. Yeah, you're gonna neg? Like, what are you doing, bro? Let's go, Maureen. Yeah, higher standards, dude. Higher fucking standards. So? What's her damage, I wonder? Ah. Don't go making fun of the things people love. Have some respect for human beings. Maybe she could have some respect for me. Because she's weird too and has, like, weird vibes. Come on. It's not that weird. How are we gonna collide, dude? Dude, she just stands for who she is. She doesn't take it any other way. How are people gonna accept you for who you are? Oh, he just does the... You'll forget. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, man. You'll forget. So why do you do it? Oh, it's an escape. Oh, he's trying to take all the work for himself so that he doesn't have to be with them to work. And then she'll stay somehow? Or for some reason? What's up, hot stuff? Hi there. Why? It's not your day, dude. What are you doing? Why? Oh. Does what she's supposed to do. And you didn't stand up for yourself? Scene. Mm. You a doormat, bro. Doormat, doormat, doormat. That's not... Oh, they see you as somebody they can use, bro. Motherfucking she gets it, because she's been used. Yeah, or they won't know. It's not about being accepted for who you are. It's you have to actually show who you are in order to be accepted for who you are. You have to stand up for yourself, bro. Bippity 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 bippity. Bip, 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 bip. Sick. She's cool. That's why she's such a perfect waifu. She's cool. Oh, it's such a vibe. My partner's so cool. So cool. Ah! Ah! Good. That shit should have rocked you, man. Yeah. And then you feel like everybody's ignoring you. Like, how dare she shit on something that you care about? And how dare you let that be, like... Somehow we'll run into her finding a new one. Oh, unfamiliar ceiling! Unfamiliar ceiling! Did you see that? That was, Evangelion! Evangelion! Mmm. Okay. Use the... Oh, and a novel... an electric one. Holy shit. How we gonna run into Marin-chan? Oh, we're gonna get found out. Ah! Ugh! Didn't catch her. Seen. You have been seen. Will you be accepted? Probably. Shimata. My secret. She's gonna think it's awesome, though. She's gonna think it's so cool. Ah, because she's got all the cute things! Oh, it's that, actually! Huh? Yeah, what if the things you do aren't stupid? What if she actually thinks they're cool? Huh? What if? Yeah, what if she just wants to love you? Huh? Huh? Like, what if? She knows what it is? Holy shit. And can I see her, like, respecting? Doesn't even reach out and pick it up? Scene. He is so seen. Let alone the cutest girl in the entire universe. It's so Nijika. It's so wish fulfillment. I love it. I love it. It is wish fulfillment. That's okay. It's okay. Clothes, huh? Whoa, the voice. Like her dream. Ah! Put clothes on me. Now, boy. No. No. Yes, of course. Truly. Indeed. Would you put clothes on me? A perfect human doll. Oh. What is that? She's got her own clothes ideas, but she doesn't know the skills. She's got the ideas. A cute flowy witchy dress thing. Not even close, love. But I see what you're going for. Got it. Cute flowy witchy, totally missing everything. No skills. Terrible. Don't you shit on the things that she loves. Don't you shit on the things that she loves. You're gonna do it to her. Brutal. But now he knows. But now he's gonna start fixing it. He's gonna start doing it. Neither do I. Teach me. Oh, hot. Spicy. And it's gonna be so non-spicy, we're gonna so will they won't they this all the way through, because he's gonna be so on the clothes. But what we're actually doing is, like, looking at the body. Oh, yeah, my guy. You're toasting somebody's care. Please kill me. I don't deserve to live anymore. Maybe make her the dress. Maybe make her the clothes. You're mad. You're very mad. It's okay. So goddamn hot. This is so spicy. She wanted to wear it. She wants to be all cutesy. Ah. Yeah, the world of cool-ass fucking hey. God. So that's our first third-party framing. It's pretty great. Ah! Ugh! Praise. So that one was mixed. That was in between. Very fun. That's the subconscious sexiness that people have. Oh, we've got so many good layers here. Yeah, what if you knew somebody who was really good at making clothes? It's like a match made in heaven. And you could see each other and respect each other's weird hobbies and be weebs and stuff and fuck a lot and have like 30 babies. How about make you my wife? This is so cute. I love, absolutely love. Wait, is the character that she loves also a clothing person or something? Oh, no, she just wants to be that character. It's legit, man. Seen and valued for who you actually are. This is such a sick first episode. Oh, it's so garbage. It's so cute. Oh, she thinks it's rejection. Yeah, people are just big dolls. No sweat, bro. You got it. Dude, I get to put sexy clothes on the sexiest human being in the entire planet. Oh, she's so cute. I love her. It's not that unlike yours. It's pretty similar, bro. Yeah, we should both learn. We'll learn. You'll come up with designs and shit. Fuck. That's porn. That's just porn. Something Girls Moist Academy. That's porn, dude. I think I've seen that. This is so cute. This is so utterly exactly what I wanted in every possible way. And in a bunch of ways that I, like, kind of just hoped. Like, I hoped that it would have echoes into my real life the way that shows sometimes do. Fuck, it's too many. Goddamn Cloverworks keeps nailing these silly goofies. It's really powerful. This also fits the vibe of, like, shows that could be sponsored by the Japanese government because they're going to encourage breeding. More babies, more love. So silly. But I do always think about that. It's like a genuine and intentional thrust of media production in Japan has been toward encouraging engaged romantic relationships. Especially toward otaku who feel like they don't have hobbies or don't have any connection to their society. I love that. Kyun, kyun, kyun. Drops out. Is there a little thing after this? Bang. Okay. So it does have a little chonk at the end, but I don't know what that's supposed to be, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, let's start on some broad strokes. I think the show is fine in terms of its production. It doesn't stand out super hard. It's not like hyper animated or very like mega expressive in the way that Bocchi the Rock kind of like rock does, right? It just nails its beats effectively. It's solid. It's good. What does this episode need to do? It needs to make me believe that this character believes that these dolls are pretty. I don't even necessarily need to think that the dolls are pretty. I just need to think that the character believes it. I need to believe that he's a real boy and that I could relate to him. And I need to believe that she's hot as hell. And more than hot as hell, a real person underneath that. Like, there's a spark of a human being under the surface of the makeup and the style. There's something more there. It's the same feeling that we want to get about Senjogahara from Monogatari. Like, there's a person here, there's intrigue. It's the same feeling that we want you to get when you see somebody attractive across a room. Is beyond just like, wow, what a hottie, to like, what's going on with that person? There's something interesting here. I think the show in this episode manages to execute that really well, and then bring it all together for our characters to feel like they see each other. For us to get that moment of the Shel Silverstein poem, which I happened to reference yesterday in the Discord. Let me find it really quickly, because it just fits so well. She had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by, and never knew. Masks. Shel Silverstein. This was written a long time ago, but it's never not poignant. All of us have this urge to like hide our truest selves. Our truest self is our most vulnerable part. The things about us that we're passionate about and really genuinely care about, those are where we can get damaged. Those are where, if it's shared with the world, it feels like it's dangerous, like we might not make it back if somebody rejects that part of us. But if you don't share that part of you, nobody's ever going to see it. If you don't show your blue self from underneath, nobody's ever going to be able to see you, and you're going to go through your whole life feeling like you're not like everybody else, like they're separate from you, like you're not actually existing in the world effectively, like nobody can see you. It's understandable to do that for this character in the wake of a very painful rejection at a very young and impressionable time from a young girl who didn't know that she was causing him that kind of pain when she said it, but still was. And it takes being seen accidentally to actually be seen. And what ends up being shown by the show is that she, too, is masks. All of that element that makes her seem like she's outside of your world is a set of fictions, a set of armor. And underneath, just like everyone else, is a person who was once a child, who has dreams and goals and desires and vulnerabilities. And sometimes those things won't connect, and you won't be able to really see and feel like you understand someone else's inner child or their blue skin underneath. But sometimes they line up just right. And if you don't ever see underneath, you're never going to see that person, except for the mask that they present. And if you don't ever show your own, nobody's ever going to see you. This first set of scenes does that first thing that I mentioned. Makes me believe that this character believes that these dolls are the coolest thing in the entire world. I don't need to think that the dolls are cool. I just need to think this guy has a passion, and he's had it since he was a little kid. Because I know what it's like to have a passion, and to feel like you have it since you're a little kid. And I know what it's like to feel like that passion isn't something that you can share, because it's silly or goofy. How my passion was watching anime and talking about it as though it matters, as though it could change lives. Fucking Chinese cartoons, y'all. And I didn't start watching anime when, it's been getting popular and more mainstream, like, cool people say that they like anime. Not in my day and age. That was a label as a weirdo. So I feel this. I get it. I get the creative instinct toward it, too. I get being beaten down. I get having a piece of that rejected. Hell, even in a less poignant or less significant way than this. During my whole childhood, I had hundreds of blocks of polymer clay, Fimo polymer clay. And I made hundreds and hundreds of little clay figures, animals, and little pieces of clothing, and just little figurines, little figures of things. Made hundreds of them. And I don't remember the actual exact specifics, but I do remember there was like a slow, gradual feeling of my father getting a little miffed by that. Because I was spending so much time working with clay and making stuff, and I wasn't like doing my homework properly. And at some point he said something. It's like, he like blew up about it. Said something that was kind of unkind about it. Not like not like this, not like that's gross and stupid. Not even forbidding me from doing it or anything like that, but he said something about like, man, this Fimo stuff is really taking over your mind or something like that. I haven't touched Fimo. I haven't touched polymer clay like that in a decade, man. Those little things can rip your joy away from you and make you internalize a kind of disrespect toward your own passion and your own love for life that can be really damaging, really hurtful. So I think that gets expressed really well here as sort of a 1-2 punch. Our first setup is, this kid loves these dolls. And you know what that feels like. And then, this kid doesn't feel like he's allowed to love these dolls because it makes him weird. And he chooses the dolls over the not being weird. He can't avoid it. He loves them too much. And maybe in a little bit of a silly, goofy, creepy way. It's a little much. But so what? So what? I think the OP is a banger. I think it slaps. I can't wait to hear it many, many more times. I think all the clothing is really cool. I like the visual split that we do between the two characters before they get smashed together. And there's all this anime in the background stuff for her because she's actually a weeb and they're actually going to be able to see eye to eye because they're both weird in different ways. She and her friend group begin to see him in an interesting way. We go into these places and have the Fiery Flower Princess Xion for the win stuff, which is super interesting. I wonder what that show is going to be like, and I hope that we get a show within a show idea going. That would be really cool. I'm also curious about this girl, who I believe, because the uniform is different, is probably in the junior high of a similar school, but is interesting in her own way. Maybe is a model as well, and maybe is younger sister of that girl who's in the same realm. I don't know. Curious. And then clothes and crafting and making stuff. I love it. I love this element because it draws a line for me that I think is a really important line. It's not always a true line, but it's a very important line for Japan culturally, and I think it's a very important line for me culturally. My dad's a craftsman. I grew up in a wood shop. I grew up carpentering. It's what I learned to do with my life from the age of like 4. Been working with wood. Saws and band saws and machines and drill presses are second nature to me. I love them. They're easy peasy. For a long time, I wasn't allowed to use them much because they're dangerous. And I would sneak off into the garage and use the tools in order to make fun, weird wood things. All right. So craftsmanship and making stuff is in my blood, and it's something that I care about a lot. It brings me a lot of peace to make things, to work with my hands, and it gives me a sense of worthwhileness of like having created something and of having actually made something. Whether it's the kinds of paper craft that I do for these little dolls, or the little bits of woodwork that are done underneath to hold them up. Or it's leather work, which I've been getting into recently because it's fun and for reasons, wink wink, that are actually kind of related to this, wink wink. Actually, they kind of are, making bits of leather stuff and leather wearables for reasons, wink wink. Craftsmanship it's something that I relate to deeply and find to be a part of my spirit. To have a character presented in a show whose road to accomplishment and feeling fulfilled is through their craftsmanship and expressing and exploring and sharing their craft, I think is a powerful thing, especially in a world where a lot of people, to my mind, are very separated from the work of their hands, from the physical reality that they exist in. I think there's something really meaningful, and a lot of people find meaning in crafts. Sewing, macrame, leatherwork, wood carving, clay, drawing, doing something that expresses your brain space into a material function, or gardening, landscaping, woodworking, drywall, like anything, really changes the way that you feel about yourself and your capacities in reality. But we draw this straight line here between, here's this hobby that you don't think is acceptable socially, and it actually becomes the thing that creates your romance and creates your most important relationship and makes you feel like a full human being and enables you to do that. That, to me, speaks to some of those cute girls shows, right? Here's Bocchi the Rock. Here's a character who doesn't feel like she's a real person and doesn't feel like she can relate to humans, and through the one thing she's passionate about, guitar and music, is able to relate to people and connect and pursue a craft and pursue a profession and pursue a dream. Yeah. Or fishing anime or camping anime. It's like that thing, whatever that thing is, brings people together and creates a life worth living. And it's around that hobby or that element. And it speaks to us as audience members. So if you're an audience member and you relate to this boy being outcast and upset and like not connected to people and like everyone else lives in a different world from you, then you might hit this question and be like, well, he had this sewing thing that was the way that he found a person. What might I have? And you might have an answer that's like, I don't know. And that's really scary, but that could lead you down the road of what could I find out? What seems compelling? And then you might think, man, that fishing anime really seemed cute and fun. I could vibe out and fish. Maybe I'll meet a cool person fishing. And then for a couple years, you might go and fish on a dock for a while, right? And catch 3 fish in a couple of years and have a great time and have your life change dramatically because you spend a couple hours every week going fishing and you feel like you have purpose, and you spend your off time going and talking to the guy at the bait shop about bait, and you don't really fucking care about any of it, but suddenly you care about it. Suddenly you care about it, and suddenly you're meeting other people at the bait shop, and like, it's stupid, but your whole world becomes a world. That speaks to me. That about this show is that layer of like, here's a show doing a cute thing. I wonder if they know what they're doing. I wonder if there's a purpose to this. I wonder if they're intending to make this like a massage parlor for your mind, a way to inspire people who watch the show. And when I think of it in that framework, I can't help but be a little bit overwhelmed by how great humans are for having taken their passions and made a show about passion that hopefully instills passion in other people, that I can use my passion, which is talking about shows that have passion in them, to talk to people who might be passionate about that, and maybe inform them about the idea that like, hey, there's this thing that tells you about passions here, and it's fucking cool, and maybe you could engage with it seriously, and it's not just escapism, but actually a roadmap for your future. What if you because like, what if you want a super cute gyaru who likes to cosplay and you want to dress them up? Maybe having some hobbies in that realm might get you a bajillion times closer to that possibility than doing nothing. In fact, I'd bet almost anything that if you were to go and take one sewing class, you would meet 1,000 more people close to your, like, the kinds of people you want to know than you would if you just stayed in your room. It's a pretty big jump from a 0% chance to a 1 in 1,000. Huge jump. Hugely valuable. Okay. Little fiddly bits, little expressive moments of loveliness. These little bits, they sell. The like zipping up in the back and the different clothes and the little bits of hair and the sexy human parts, like showing the nape of the neck, or little things. They sell. It sells super hard, and it makes me want to transition toward talking about sexuality and how it's portrayed in scene. But first, we'll just take the episode as it goes. Lovely setup of our family. I love the shots of the food. They feel very intimate. This whole sequence feels very intimate and cool. He doesn't look like a high schooler, but this is anime. Neither does she. She looks like a 24-year-old bombshell. He looks like a 25-year-old salaryman. That's fine. It's fine. It's anime. I like the environments, I like the space. Overall production, I just think is good. This is such a huge show win for me, because this scene of like meeting the best friend, who's just like a normie best friend, who's actually a little bit worse and a little bit weirder and maybe a little bit more pervy than your protagonist, is so normal. It's so exactly right. It's so normal that this comes up in Digibro's Ass War Sucks videos in like episode 1 or episode 2 when we meet the best friend character, and Digi talks about that person in the framework of like, this particular flavor of best friend character is the newspaper type because he happens to work at the school newspaper, and so he knows lots of things going on and is able to inform our main character of all sorts of things. This is the perfect setup for that scene, and so it's also the perfect undercut for that proves to us that this character truly is alone. He doesn't even have the one weird best friend who sucks. He is totally alone. Damn. And how could I? How could I have friends? I don't deserve friends. I'm weird. I'm wrong. I'm not even human. It actually reminds me of the Junji Ito no longer human thing. It actually really reminds me of that, of like, I'm no longer human. But it's the belief that you're no longer human that makes you separate yourself from these people. All of them are just, what? Happily sharing what they care about and not caring too much if other people reject it. But it doesn't feel safe to do that for him. Mostly because he got super duper traumatized at a very young age by a child. Oops. It's right there. I'll just end up disturbing and unsettling them. I'm a burden. I'm a trauma. I'm a damage. I'm just gonna bring them down and be weird and gross. It would be better if we don't linger on this very hard because it's not the tone of our show. The tone of our show is not, let's save a suicidal boy from being suicidal by seeing him as a person. That's the tone of Sangatsu no Lion. Here's a character who feels distinct and separated from reality for a whole bunch of traumatic reasons. Let's show them that reality is worth living in. That's not the tone of this show, but we touch on it because it's real, and it's a vibe that, well, we don't talk about too much. And often it is those little things that build up into someone's mental state. That little rejection in childhood that starts as a seed that grows into a looming, deadly tree. Or a poisonous vine that chokes the life out of them. That's more like what that is, because he hasn't stopped. He's still done his passion, he's still grown and watered his tree, but it's poisoned. It's got this vine choking the life out of it, this vine of disbelief. And those thoughts of like, well, if you've got a real passion, and that passion would be your reason for living, and someone tells you that it's worthless and stupid and lame and gross, well, your reason for living is worthless and stupid and lame and gross. Taking that to its logical extreme is pretty logical. It's fucked up and sad, but it is pretty logical. It'd be better if I just disappeared. No, my guy. No, my guy. So, rocks him out of his thought process, but of course he doesn't do anything about it, and is oh so cute. So cute. And this is our first interaction with her, and it starts with her seeing him, and then being willing to break in and get closer. She doesn't wait for permission to enter his space, yeah? In fact, she sort of bowls over what might be his boundaries, unrealizing her own sexiness, right? Her own impact. The little bell collar makes her very much like a little cat or a dog, which is a vibe. And this very much reminds me of the first scenes of meeting Nijika and like, hi, I'm your friend now. What's up? It's like every introvert's dream is to meet an extrovert who just will overwhelm them. He's completely gooped by the fact that she's gorgeous, because duh. I love her sidekick. Cute. Oh, is that? And she goes for it. Is just curious about it. I thought she was going to think it was mascara or something. But what we've got here is touch. And we can start talking about sexualization and camera. Because for the first time, we have body parts in frame. Okay, we'll talk about it here at first, because what is he enamored by as a character? Faces. Faces. So when she turns and it's her face, that's what he's enamored by. And we pan right past her breasts to look at her face here, right? She's touching him. This is a scene where breasts are the focus. Not for him. Face is. Close, close, proximity, proximity, too close. And then he pulls away because he's goofy, yeah? And still, only locked in, focused on her face and her expressions, her eyes, everything about her, until she walks away, and then it's like we're left with the scent of her in the air. And he watches her walk away, but he's like feeling the feeling of her on his skin. There was ink on my arm, and he's barely computing. She surprised me, though, and we look up, and there's a little bit of ass, but it's subconscious. Okay, great. Whose eyes are we in? His. Because he looks up and he notices this. I would too. But whose eyes are we in? His. And how does he respond? The way that many bashful young men do. He sees something and feels like, oh, that's something that I shouldn't see, and looks away. Okay. This gets played badly in a lot of shows, in the like accidentally walk in on the female character changing scene, and then the male character is like, oh god, because that whole scene is executed just to show us, the audience, some panties and shit. What's going on here? Kitagawa, the character, Marin, is subconsciously sexy. She's not trying to be, necessarily. She just is. And in the same way that when you're around someone that you're attracted to, you can't help but notice their attractiveness. Maybe even glance over and glance away like, oh shit, I shouldn't be. We end up in that same frame. We're in his eyes, and our camera only lingers for as long as he feels he's allowed to. It's very cute. It's very innocent and childish and bashful. It answers my questions about who will be framing the sexuality of our show in a really interesting way that I didn't quite expect. A much more nuanced way, and much more subtle than most shows in this vein, which will just take the opportunity to hypersexualize this character for our titillation, regardless of the way that the character feels, or who the character is, regardless of whether it undercuts their personality, like in exactly the way that I said, where the character might pose in a really haughty, like super strong way, and we might be just upskirting them. That's not what we're doing here. We're not like upskirting Kitagawa here. She's just bouncing and flouncing and being cute and sexy. And there will be more of that as we go. The focus on the face, again, a different world. And how is that world actually? This is something really cool, because this is something that I think is mirrored by the experiences of lots of femme people. Like, so much. God, holy shit. Get hit on all the time. All the time. And the way I always used to frame that was like, well, that means there's an abundance of choice, right? Like, you got no shortage of options. Yeah. But very often, the guys who do that disqualify themselves by the way that they do that. Waiting for her after a hair appointment and failing to come up with a conversation piece because he just makes fun of her for something and decides to neg because he's running off of a pickup artist manual. Maybe that person wants to be treated like a person and not like their outside model pieces. And maybe because she's so aware of self-representation and how much of it can be put on and taken off, maybe she won't be as easily swayed by external hunkiness. Maybe, just maybe, people who get approached all the time are the ones who are the most jaded to being approached like that. And maybe, just maybe, getting constantly objectified and wanted is the kind of thing that isolates you too. Because people don't see a person like that as a person. They see them as an object to be desired. To have sexual needs projected upon. To be used. So it strikes quite a nerve when she returns and turns to Gojo and tells him, don't you understand that those people aren't, like, relying on you or befriending you? They're just using you? Because probably Kitagawa has had some people act close to her when they're just trying to use her. What a waste. He was a hunk. Yeah, but that's not what she cares about. It's obvious I like it, so don't go making fun of the things people love. And this sparks in him, what if? What if that's a real person? What if that's a real person? Somebody who actually, like, could see other people. But no, she lives in a world unlike me. And he thinks it must be nice to live in a world where other people accept you as you are. Having lived in a world where he hasn't shared who he is for a decade. How will people accept you if they cannot even see you? How will you ever feel seen if you're never showing yourself? How will they, they will take advantage of you. They will use you if you allow it. Of course it's a pain. But he's more attuned to avoiding the conversation, because that's more painful. She won't bow out, though. It's her duty, too. And so she realizes, and so we connect. They're not relying on you. They're just using on you. It's not a healthy way to live. You have to tell people how you feel. That's the difference between you. It's that she stands up for herself. So, a twist of fate, a little injury. She pokes him, and then the sewing machine does, or the scissors do. Unfamiliar ceiling shout out. Lovely. And then a magical encounter. Ugh, bam! Horror, fear, seen, caught. She's going to look down on me now. She's going to gonna hate me now. But no. She loves it. She thinks it's beautiful, just like you do. She has respect for it and doesn't reach out and touch it or break it. She sees you. And then sees a way that she could use you. But a way that, because of the vulnerability that's been shared, allows her to share her own vulnerability. And what that leads to is the potential that maybe she could really rely on you, not just use you. And for something that she really cares about, that just happens to be extremely kinky, super fucking hot, and very, very sexalicious, and allows us to spin our camera around her body parts a whole lot, which is very fun. Also, an interesting form of sexualization, isn't it? Because the thing that's, like, sexy here is the staring, is the being stared at. Mostly, the evaluated, mostly. There's a dynamic of hotness to this. It's close, it's personal, but it's also cute and childish because there's this lack of realization of the circumstance that we're in. He's just very innocently looking at the clothing. What clothing? But his face is this far away from the promised land, right? And he doesn't even realize it until she sort of realizes it. But even then, the thing that drops us out is that she's emotional about being criticized this way. I made it because I want to be here. And we get all flowy and cute, and she expresses her passion for cosplay and how she wants it to be. And that gives this moment, as she's gung-ho, her panties flip up, and that's a lot, right? But it raises a question. Whose sexy are we in? Well, we're in his line of sight. But who created the sexy circumstance? It's not wind blowing by at the whim of the creator. It's not our camera panning down at the whim of the camera. It's her being gung-ho and awesome and cool, and it just happens to be sexy at the same time. It's almost like they want her subconscious sexiness to be subconsciously linked in our minds directly to her being passionate about the thing that she wants. Because the time that we show the most sexy piece of this character is when she precisely expresses her joy, love, and passion. Exactly what she wants to do, this is where we get the horniest about her. Where do we see her as the most hot and submissive and breedable? When she expresses herself most fully. So what does this say overall? What does the episode overall, whole thing, say? The whole episode says, it's cool to have a passion. It's important to share that with the world so that the people who might relate to it can see you. And being passionate about that thing and sharing it with other people is sexy. And it's sexy to the people who you're going to be most attracted to. And they're going to be most attracted to your own passion, because that's the thing that makes people love each other and interested in each other and find each other attractive. It's not just those surface level things. If you want something serious and something cool and something awesome, you're going to have to put skin in the game. You're going to have to take some of your armor off. You're going to have to show the person behind the mask to the world. And it won't feel safe and it won't feel comfortable, but it's worth it to be seen. It's worth it to relate and to connect. And it's going to be worth it for these characters moving forward, because they're going to be able to help each other feel fulfilled and whole and human and real. And that's fucking cool, and I'm excited to be along the journey for it, and I'm so excited to have you along, and I'm excited for next week when you get to watch the next episode on the YouTube as well, which you can go ahead and get early on the Patreon if you'd like to for $1, because we're going to wrap up here, and I'm going to say thank you so much for watching episode 1 of Sono Bisque Doll with me, as we engage with these super fucking cute characters and their super fucking cute little nails and stuff. And and that's kind of how I feel having found this show, because it's cute and lovely and glorious and sexy and romantic and fun, and I relate to the characters kind of on both sides, and I just like it. I like it a lot. Y'all nailed it. Good job, pollsters. Good job, patron pollers. Love you. See you next week for more early access on the Patreon. Peace.